Hi everyone. So in this video, I'm going into more in depth into the victims of these terrorist organizations that were made by the UN and Prince Harry, specifically Team Halo, which coincidentally again is the same name as the Princess Diana Halo Trust. And Team Halo worked together with Dinesh and the Nurse Squad. There's three terrorist groups that were very active together online, and they made a lot of TikToks together and some lives like this one I happen to get a clip of. Now, if you know TikTok, you do a live on TikTok, it disappears right afterwards. So a lot of the evidence have disappeared, but we still have the stories of some of the many victims of these people. Now, this video here I just want to show you is an example of Dinesh working with a Team Halo doctor, Dr. Rubin. And in this video, they're talking about Pikachu having COVID, and he's also encouraging people to send money, send roses. You know, this is how they made extra money. That's the Dinesh guy. So I was going to play a short clip.
Going to extreme debt from the healthcare system. All right. And our buddy Danish here is really trying to do a good job keeping Pikachu alive. Okay. Trust me.
I just want to point out in front of the Pikachu, it says, "Only money will save me."
I'm a real doctor. I may not be a Pokemon doctor, but I'm a pediatric specialist, and Pikachu's about the size of a 12-year-old child, okay?
So he's not only a doctor, he is a Team Halo doctor, a pediatrician there. So I'm going to go through some of the stories of what the damage that these terrorist organizations that Prince Harry, I believe, is involved in, and who work very much like the Sussex Squad. So how one TikTok creator, let me see here, one TikTok creator terrorized, as Dinesh, his targets with an army of bots. They use a lot of bots to do their massive calling and reporting. So Jennifer Couture spent 3 years believing that hundreds of strangers wanted her dead. So Dinesh used bots. He could make phone calls with them and make it sound like real people with different voices and different messages. But it was all just one person doing it. He was using software, automated software, and could make thousands of phone calls and emails and direct messages. So he would bombard targets and people around them and their places of work and the police. Dinesh did this to police stations to push them to arrest her. And they really thought it was thousands of people calling. So the evidence seemed overwhelming. More than 1,000 messages arrived on Facebook, each with a different person saying essentially the same thing. Hang yourself, kill yourself, you blonde, bitch, hope your family effing dies. And this death threats are also a repeated theme with all these terror squads. They came in all different kinds of names. The victim here, Couture, had to change her routine. She was always looking over her shoulder, and she was worried about her daughter. And she finally turned out suing Dinesh in court. This Dinesh guy is facing several lawsuits. According to the evidence compiled in a federal court, expert analysis of social media platforms, the mob that threatened her for 3 years was essentially the creation of one man, Dinesh Noshirvan, or that Dinesh guy, who's actually still very active. He's on YouTube and Twitter. So it began, okay, so what Dinesh does, right? He takes a video that somebody takes. There was an altercation between this woman and another woman in a parking lot. And the young woman took out her cell phone and they were both yelling at each other. And then the young woman sends the video to Dinesh. So Dinesh is also very political. He's extreme left, woke, and all that. And what Dinesh did and what he's showing here with this video is that Dinesh alters the video. He clips it out. So he only shows things out of context to make this woman, Jennifer Couture, look like the aggressor, when in fact she was the victim almost getting struck by the woman who made the video, if I'm making any sense. So basically, people send videos to Dinesh. They want to get somebody, they dislike someone, or they have an argument in the parking lot. And then Dinesh clips the video and posts it for his millions of subscribers, who are probably also the algorithm from TikTok, I assume. And just like the Team Halo got. And he would make Jennifer Couture look like the perpetrator when in fact she's more a victim. And he does this with everybody. He takes their videos and clips it to make them look bad, like a racist or whatever insult. Usually racist. It's always a racist. You're a racist. Just like Harry and Meghan call everybody, right? So it says here, he posted the edited clip. He named Couture. He identified her employer. So that's another thing. They dox you, Dinesh and the rest of these squads. They get a clip of a video, and somehow, okay, this is a big mystery as well with Dinesh, is how he's able to get a picture of someone in a parking lot. He may have gotten a license plate too, but even so, how was he able to find the person so fast? Oftentimes, he only has the face of a victim. He doesn't have a car or a license plate or anything. And somehow he's able to always locate the person and find their name, address, where they work, et cetera, just from a quick clip of a person's face in a video, which makes me suspect that Dinesh does have these UN ties and to intelligence as well. CIA involvement, perhaps, is my assumption. He claims he just does it searching on social media. I don't know. Maybe so. I don't know. But it's very suspicious to me. But anyways, so Dinesh puts up an edited clip of this woman. I'm not going to play it. I don't want to get too in detail here. You can go. I'll put a link below for this website. You can check it out. And the Lee County Sheriff's Office was flooded with calls demanding that Jennifer Couture be arrested. Voices would call, leave a message, and hang up. Her employer received hundreds of complaints. Her social media accounts were bombarded. Local media ran with the story. On February 2nd, 2022, deputies arrested Couture on a felony charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, the weapon being her car. All right, so from the clipped video, Dinesh made it look like she was trying to hit the girl with her car, when in fact it turned out not to be true. It was just the way, the angle of the camera. But Dinesh actually succeeded through bots and calling the police station, bombarding them with messages, succeeded to getting them, because the police thought they were real people. And they got them to arrest her and charge her with something for an argument in a parking lot. It said prosecutors later reviewed the unedited footage and reduced the charge to a misdemeanor, but the correction came too late by then. Her reputation had been destroyed. Her safety and sense of a normal life had been stripped away, all because of this one man, this one online terrorist connected to, again, UN and Prince Harry with these the squads. Dinesh continued to make videos using edited footage, demanding that her boss fire her. When he did not, she went after him. So then Dinesh moved on to her employer. It wasn't enough for him that she got arrested. He went after her employer as well. And this is the vindictiveness of this guy. So according to analysis by digital forensic experts, including Joseph Camp, the evidence documented in court filings that Nostrovan's accountability culture relies on a sophisticated system of artificial engagement that creates the illusion of mass human outrage. And he decides when the crowd speaks. So he posts a video. He's got the bot engagement, flooded fake comments, calls, etc. The call campaign, a commercially available auto dialer, different ID services, and the email and social media, and the direct harassment, sending her messages on Facebook, Instagram, email, and text. The messages threaten violence, etc. And so she ended up. Now Dinesh went after her employer, who happened to be her husband, who was a plastic surgeon, and he hit the plastic surgeons, Facebook and other web pages, where you give reviews, and he bombarded it with hundreds of bad reviews, made up reviews to destroy his business, and he succeeded in doing so. And now they've her and her husband have taken Dinesh to court, and it looks like they're going to win. So we'll have to wait and see. But there's not just harassment, as if destroying someone's life like that and their business isn't enough. Many people have actually committed suicide or attempted suicide because of the abuse and onslaught from Dinesh Noshirvan. And this individual, Aaron De La Torre, 49, died by suicide on October 4th, 2024, 10 days after Noshirvan started posting videos about him following a minor altercation with a juvenile at a Texas gas station. Police had investigated and found no truth to what Noshirvan claimed had been done to the juvenile. So despite this, De La Torre was inundated with calls demanding his firing and arrest. And unknown to De La Torre, most of the calls and messages were AI generated. During the investigation into the suicide of De La Torre, investigators identified more than 50 people who claimed to have been targeted by similar campaigns linked to Dinesh Noshirvan. So there are 50 other victims around this one man who committed suicide because he thought the world hated him because thousands of calls and messages were coming in from AI that Dinesh Noshirvan used. A decision on whether to charge Noshirvan for cyber stalking is pending. In May 2023, Couture, and going back to the Jennifer Couture and her husband, Dr. Garamo, sued Noshirvan in federal court because Noshirvan defamed them and used his social media to orchestrate a harassment campaign. And Dinesh Noshirvan turned around and sued them, demanding $40 million in damages. So they're going back and forth with this. And it's been very ugly. Dinesh Noshirvan has gone so far as to, during this, he had to give testimony, his wife had to give testimony to a lawyer, and it was a black lawyer, and Noshirvan accused him of being a racist and started making videos about him, calling him a racist, and Substack articles and whatnot. So really crazy behavior from a deranged lunatic here, but this is typical of these members of these squads. These are not normal people. They're very violent and crazy, or criminally insane, in my opinion. So this is the story here about the man, De La Torre. So a Texas man took his own life because of TikTok influencers' videos alleging he assaulted a boy. So the high school football coach committed suicide 10 days after Dinesh started harassing him. So the police, basically the story is that the police investigated, they found no crimes. It wasn't, Dinesh again edited the video and made up lies and said that, oh, he punched the kid, but that's not what happened. The kid had bumped into his wife, and he yelled at him like, watch yourself. And the kids had a video. They sent it to Dinesh, and Dinesh started claiming that, oh, there was abuse here. So the police looked into it because Dinesh was being so aggressive, calling them and emailing them. So they investigated it and spoke to the mother, and the mother said she did not want to press charges. There was no crime here. There was no abuse here. It was just a slight altercation there. But that Dinesh wouldn't let it go. Dinesh was like, oh, the mother is not going to press charges. She must just be afraid to. We got to stand up for her. Everybody contact the police right now. Call him and harass him and harass the police and harass the neighbors and harass the children. And they go after the family members. So this went on and on until finally, the guy, this poor man, Aaron De La Torre, thought that these were real calls. They didn't know that they were AI generated. So he's thinking that all these thousands of people across the country hate him and want him dead. And so he killed himself, and he's not the only one. So this is just one example, death as a result of this terrorist activity of these individuals. This was not just simply leaving mean tweets on Twitter. This was a lot more serious, and people got hurt, people got fired, people were humiliated, afraid for their lives. The death threats, they were afraid for their children. And all these groups are connected. I mean, this was a full-on attack on Americans. These people are terrorists, and they just they terrorize people for years, and then poof, they disappear, shut their account, and walk away unscathed. Dinesh is facing some consequences in court, but he's fighting them viciously. He's got serious backing with a lawyer who's as dirty as him, and some serious money behind him. Some believe that he may be a foreign agent of Iran. I don't know. All I'm saying is He did work closely with Team Halo members and Nurse Mafia members, and they all of these terrorist organizations did the same things. They ruined people's lives, innocent people, just for sport. And don't forget, this all happened during 2020, 2021, 22, when you had BLM and Antifa burning down streets, and you had everyone's a racist, and George Floyd, and COVID. So, and on top of all that going on, Dinesh and all these other groups, Sussex Squad, Team Halo, were destroying people's lives and livelihoods. So another story is about a Navy veteran and military rape survivor. And it says Dinesh Noshirvand, that Dinesh guy, is a 38-year-old from Mansfield, Pennsylvania. He calls what he does accountability culture. He had 2 million followers. Okay. So the man who he's facing, all right, 62,000. He got a 62,000 federal court sanction for bad faith conduct after a judge found he lied about and harassed opposing counsel in his own lawsuit that I just mentioned. A Texas grand jury is reportedly investigating whether his campaign against high school coach Aaron De La Torre, who killed himself 10 days after Noshirvand targeted him, constitutes cyber stalking. As far as I know, nothing's happened with that. They never did anything. He is the man who targeted Rebecca Bloomer Martin, a Navy veteran whose story of military rape and subsequent PTSD in a Rolling Stone was published in 2013. Okay, so we're getting to this woman now. She was a rape victim, well publicized in 2013. What follows is her account of what she says occurred between September 2021 to present. On 9/11 on TikTok, she came across a live stream featuring Dinesh Noshirvand with Guilt and Savannah Mom. They were discussing how they had hacked into someone's accounts. Dinesh said he microwaved SIM cards to prevent the possible discovery of what he does to identify people. Someone in the live comments asked, "Why are you microwaving SIM cards?" And this woman says, "I knew because she's a Navy veteran." She says it's criminal activity. She said, "I know what criminal activity looks like. It offended me that they were celebrating hacking Americans, and I reported it to the FBI." So Dinesh is also guilty of hacking Americans. It appears here, according to her, what she said, what she saw. Before Dinesh targeted me, she had 89,000 followers on TikTok. She covered cold cases and public court proceedings. After Jen Welch attempted suicide following Dinesh's harassment campaign. Okay, Jen Welch is another woman who Dinesh pushed to suicide or attempted suicide. She didn't succeed, thankfully. So this woman here, a Navy veteran, started covering Dinesh after he pushed this woman to commit suicide. And she posted the video of him discussing hacking, including instructions for reporting it to the FBI. And she included instructions for reporting to the FBI. On January 1st, 2022, he responded by mocking her voice and sexually harassing her. And after that, the bot accounts appeared under various variations of the same name, calling her a liar, etc. So this woman started getting calls on her phone, spoofed text messages. Her husband started getting messages from women sending nudes saying, "Missed our date last night." Her 4-year-old daughter used her husband's old phone on Wi-Fi so she can play games and watch YouTube videos. She started getting phishing messages. She clicked one, and that's when all of her devices were compromised. From there, Dinesh gained access to the router and other devices. So later, when I said that they hacked a child's phone, one of Dinesh's co-conspirators said that wasn't a kid's phone. But she admitted they hacked a device. They admitted to her that they hacked it. 4 days after, and this is January 2022, 4 days after the harassment began, just days after Jen Welch's suicide attempt, she tried to hang herself. So here's a second suicide attempt. She had just gotten out of the shower. Her hair was wet, not in a good place mentally. Her health was deteriorating. Dinesh and his co-conspirators of Dinesh were Team Halo and the Nurse Mafia and others, were harassing, attacking her, threatening her family. They were telling her to be one of 22 because they say from a statistic that 22 veterans kill themselves every day. And she thought, you know what? You won't leave me alone. Fine, F you. I'm going to do it. And she fell out of the noose and broke her arm, and they had to set it. She said while she was hospitalized from her suicide attempt with a broken arm, Dinesh claimed she was faking it. His moderators piled on, and she names names, and Patreon supporters of his paying him to help destroy her. Online, they used handles like Everybody Knows Your Name and Rose Real Talk. They kept posting links to her Rolling Stone article. Then one day, one of them got on a plane to Las Vegas to find her. They commented to her they were going to rape her. And this Dinesh squad. Now, this person flying, so this is real life. They bring it real life. And this isn't the only case. Team Halo also did this to that nurse, Nicole Saratek. They went to her house. They poisoned her dog. They burglarized her house, etc. So this is another example. So this is terrorism. This is, again, more than just mean tweets. You know, they go in person, and they went to her husband's job, and she showed up asking for him, etc., etc. She said after she came home from the hospital, the harassment still didn't stop. They gained access to her private videos, screen recorded them, edited them, redistributed them. So they got all her videos. They broke into her system and got all her private videos that were not posted online, and they posted them. One video showed her 4-year-old daughter playing with a rainbow crochet doll, and they claimed that she was teaching her child to harm Black people with voodoo over a rainbow-colored doll, et cetera, et cetera. So all this harassment using her personal information that Dinesh hacked into her computer system to get. So you see how evil and psychologically damaging to her mental health this was. This woman attempted suicide. Yeah. So went to court, and she tried to file a protective order against Dinesh, and she filled out the wrong jurisdiction by accident because she lives in North Las Vegas. And she said, I filed the wrong jurisdiction deliberately because Dinesh kept telling everyone I was in Las Vegas. I figured if they harassed the police, finding the false claims about me, seeking my arrest, at least it would be the wrong department. The judge denied it, said wrong jurisdiction, then told her privately, I'm very sympathetic to what you're going through. And he warned her that if she refiled in her actual jurisdiction, it would reveal her location to her harassers. And his advice was to literally move house, and don't tell people where you are. And this is also the case with the other nurse that was harassed by Team Halo. She actually went to court to change her name. She had to change her name legally to avoid the harassment. They're so relentless. It never stops. They just keep going after you. They really want to push you to kill yourself. And they have no sympathy when somebody does commit suicide. Dinesh got on Dr. Phil's show and said, well, because of that, someone who committed suicide, I believe it was Aaron De La Torre. And Dinesh said, well, it's not my fault if that happens. You know, I didn't do anything. Like So this is how they work. And this is the type of activities that these squads do. You know, this is not a small thing. They would target someone and relentlessly go after them with all reporting to police, hospitals. You know, they did this to Yankee Wally. You remember how upset people were? They went after Yankee Wally. They called the police to visit her house. They did this to Duchess of Sussex. This is the same exact tactics. Sussex Squad, Team Halo, Dinesh, Nurse Squad, Mafia did and do. Dinesh is still doing it to this day. Surprisingly, he's still doing it. There may be other, like I said, the Team Halo changed its name a couple of times. But they could come back again in full force. I think they've toned it down a bit, but Sussex Squad is still very active and going on. So This was literally terrorist activities endorsed by Prince Harry and the UN through these groups that were doing this type of activity, and they all, they're all hidden, behind names. Now, the point is, the reason for this, I believe, is to push for censorship, because now Prince Harry comes to America pushing censorship against misinformation. So Harry is helping to deplatform anyone who says anything negative about vaccines, including, and most specifically, vaccine injured people during COVID who were saying, hey, I took the shot and now I'm in a hospital, and saying what happened to them. They were getting deplatformed off Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. So Harry was involved in that, while at the same time supporting these squads, and to this day supports them to do this dirty work, this terrorism work, firing people, harassing them. And the courts just say, move. You're just going to move, change your name. I mean, they nothing happens to them, and it's still ongoing. And so this is a direct attack on the American people by the World Economic Forum, who is where UN Melissa Fleming was when she made the announcement that she did this. And we all know that Harry works the World Economic Forum, as well as Tedros in the UN. So this is a direct attack on us by them. This is how they're attacking us and getting away with it thus far. Like I said, Dinesh is in court. He has several court cases. People are suing him, but it's very difficult to sue in these scenarios. The way the legal systems are, I think, though, he may be losing to the Jennifer Couture because her and her husband have the money to sue, right? Because in order to get sued and to file these lawsuits, it's thousands and thousands of dollars that most people simply can't afford. Most victims can't afford. And that's why they keep getting away with it, right? But somehow Dinesh has all this money to do it and to fight 10 different court cases at the same time. Very similar to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle with their constant court cases, So this is how it's stacked against the average person. If you're just a nurse or a medical tech, a radiology tech, and they come after you and get you fired from your job, how are you going to sue if you have no money, right? So this is how they keep getting their victims and attacking them and destroying their lives, and even getting somebody arrested, and at least 3 suicides, or at least 1 suicide and 2 attempted suicides that we know of. I'm sure there's many more. When Aaron De La Torre, who committed suicide, and he did actually perish, 50 other people came forward and said, yeah, Dinesh attacked me too. So what does that tell you? Just there in that area, So this is a very serious problem. It has been ongoing, and none of them have been held accountable. And now you've got Prince Harry standing on stage for child safety when he supports these type of terrorists that he sprung on us and said, oh, look, look how it is on social media. It's so terrible. And Harry blames and wants you to believe he blames the algorithms. Oh, it's those algorithms that Facebook uses. That must be what it is. It's the algorithms. We need to get control of that and be able to censor more. So Harry wants the power. Harry just wants to censor speech he doesn't like, as you see happening in the UK. So Harry wants the power to censor, on top of having his terrorists out there destroying your life if you go against his narrative, and if you're a doctor or a nurse going against this COVID narrative or whatever narrative next that they're going to come out with, someone that's credible. So if you're credible and you have the right to be speaking on the topic and pushing back against it, then they'll just get you fired and take your license and death threats and whatnot. And public humiliation, they can hack your computer and get your private videos and publicly humiliate you with it, like they did the Navy veteran. So, there you have it. She almost, she attempted suicide as well because of Dinesh and his gang here. But Prince Harry is very much a part of it and doing the same thing with the Sussex Squad. So, there needs to be some accountability for these, cancel culture or accountability culture terrorists. And none has been done so far. And Harry is using these attacks, Hegelian dialectic, right? He creates the problem so that he can create the solution. So Harry helped create this problem. I believe Harry's behind all of this. I mean, Team Halo. I think that Harry's creating the problem, and then he's with his terrorists, and then he turns around and says, oh, here, I'll make it safer. Give me power to censor what I want with CCDH. That's his solution. because it's those algorithms. Nothing. He mentions nothing of his terror squads. So there you have. Of course, he's not going to mention. He's not going to admit to it. But I mean, we all know he's got the Sussex squad. He's involved with for sure. But anyway, so there you have. This why it's a very serious situation, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of more stories than the ones I've read you, and they're all horrific. And these poor people who, hardworking Americans who are attacked like this. And unless these people are held accountable, I mean, it's going to happen again and again and continue to happen. So I think it's so important to at least make people aware of this, and somebody to at least confront Prince Harry on these topics if there's any serious journalists out there. Anyways, that's what I have for you today. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.